A chilly February evening in Cache Valley, Utah. We're in Logan. D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. Aggies fans always geared up. 81st meeting in a series that dates back to 1926, Wyoming and Utah State. Mountain West standings look this way. The Aztecs have won the regular season title. Number 2 seed is up for grabs. Top 5 get buys in the Mountain West tournament when we hit March. Hi everybody, I'm Trey Bender alongside Kelly Stewart, the WNIT champion. Glad you're with us. This is an Aggies team that is drawing attention despite what San Diego State, and they're thinking about once more.
Yeah, San Diego State's been untouchable so far, obviously 26-0, but let's remember Utah State was picked as the preseason favorite in the Mountain West Conference. They have a little chip on their shoulder, and their record is not indicative of the type of team they are. They had some injuries to key players early on, but now it seems that they're playing some of their best basketball and only moving forward from here. So hey, of course they're gunning for the Aztecs in the Mountain West tournament, but if they can't win that tournament, they want to prove to the committee that they deserve the at-large bid into the big dance.
We have 2 of the top scorers in the Mountain West Conference on display here tonight in Logan.
Sam Merrill and Hunter Maldonado. These guys can hoop. They can score. Merrill 18.6 points per game. Maldonado at an even 17, but they bring so much more to the game than just scoring. Of course, everyone looks at that right away. But look at Maldonado. Can score at all 3 levels, does a little bit of everything, but also leads his team in rebounding at just under 6 boards per game, leads his team in assists at 4 assists per game. He's a playmaker for them. They are a different team when he's not out on the court. He does a little bit of everything, besides, of course, putting it in the hoop. Meanwhile, for Utah State, talk about a playmaker. Sam, the year reigning Mountain West Player of the Week. Of course, you look at his scoring numbers, they're impressive, but he brings so much more to the game. He can rebound it just over 4 boards per game, also dishes it out 4 assists per game. Craig Smith said we are a different team when he is not on the floor because he is a playmaker. He finds the person that needs to have the ball.
Merrill 100% healthy for the first time since the start of the season. He'll go down as one of the greats here in Logan and in Mountain West history.
He's been so fun to watch, and Craig Smith said as much as he's done throughout this entire season, he's been battling nagging injuries. He's finally at 100%. He's running well, doing everything at his full speed, so that's great to see. And
Craig Smith was honest. He says, I like this team. It was refreshing to hear that from a coach. Didn't point out a lot of negatives, and he thinks they're ready for the stretch run and march as the Aggies win the opening tip. Namish Keita, the sophomore, who's one of those guys getting back close as Brock Miller's pass is intercepted into the corner. Hendricks for 3, misses the mark. Wyoming played very well in their last game against Colorado State, coming up a little bit short, and there's a good start as Quan Marble, the freshman from Denver, knocks in the first shot.
And if Wyoming is going to challenge Utah State, they have to do 2 things. They have to knock down threes. They like to shoot a lot of threes, and then, of course, rebound. So great start for the Cowboys.
Aggies shoot the ball. So an excellent free throw shooting team. They get there a lot. Here's Abel Porter on the drive in the paint. Banks it home. Senior from Farmington, Utah, gets the Aggies on the board. Here's the 5 for Wyoming without Hunter Thompson, still out with mononucleosis. They have missed the big body in there. They're a very small team.
Yeah, not the team to go up against, considering Utah State is the tallest team in America.
A little hook shot from TJ Taylor, who essentially is their post guy now at 6'6". Very good offensive rebounder, can't connect from short range there. Aggies team that loves to share it, but their focal point you mentioned is Merrill. They go inside, and Keita has it stripped away. Good play by Maldonado. Good energy early from the Cowboys. Here's Taylor over Keita.
And Taylor with a crafty little hook right there. He's going to have to use some of those secondary moves, those counter moves, if he's going to score over Keita.
Coach Edwards loves his toughness. Last year started 22 games as a freshman out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Merrill, who draws a lot of attention, pulls the trigger from 3. In and out on that one. Rebound for A.J. Banks.
Just a near miss for Merrill. He's so dangerous all over the floor and also dangerous on defense. Usually guards the other team's best player.
Here's Marble, really has come on in his freshman year. Keita the rebound. Double-double machine. Justin Bean gets into the corner for Miller. Here's Bean out high with it. Merrill is fouled, and that's going to go on Quan Marble. Allen Edwards, new territory for him. He's known nothing but success as a player, as a coach. Last 2 years, the last year actually they won 8 games, but they won 20 plus the 2 previous years, and he really loves the way these kids have fought despite the tough circumstances this season.
Well, he does, and you mentioned all he knows is success. Won 2 national championships when he was playing with Kentucky, but he said just this perspective from a coach, you appreciate.
He only shoots it at 29%. They get some points from him out there. They're very tough to beat.
Well, Abel Porter showing his versatility. Had a layup earlier and now knocks it down from 3.
Marble guarded by Porter. Tried to step back, thought about the shot. They go inside to Taylor. Against Keita, giving away a bunch of size. Keita blocks it. 26th of the year, 101 in his career now.
Just a huge body, 7 feet is Neemias Keita. You can't really shoot over him. You have to use those counter moves. They
double and a good entry pass to Bean. Great ball movement there for the Aggies to get the high percentage shot.
And that's something they're great at. They average 16.4. 86.5 field goals per game. So only 10 of their made field goals are unassisted. That's great for Utah State.
They made 3 of 4, and here's a steal by Merrill. And the finish. No doubt, first team all-conference performer. Last year, the Mountain West Tournament MVP, and you mentioned Player of the Year, a tremendous career for the kid from Bountiful, Utah. Maldonado, nice step through. Can't convert. Tough break. Miller has it.
A beautiful move. That's what I'm talking about. Counter moves going up against Keita.
Keita inside. Outside, Miller. Not there. Bean with the follow. Tough break.
Wyoming catching a lucky break there. They actually give up on just under 10 offensive boards per game. Utah State needs to get after it on the offensive glass.
Maldonado fouled in the open floor. Merrill, one of the all-time greats in Mountain West history.
He's key on both ends of the floor. Gets the steal right here.
Before tip, Sam Merrill honored as one of 3 Aggies to eclipse the 2,000-point total, getting the ball. A great moment here in Logan.
Well, some people don't realize how hard it is to score 2,000 points. That's why the 1,000-point milestone is so celebrated in college basketball. But 2,000 points, that's incredible. But we talked about it earlier, he's not just a scorer. He brings so much more to the game. Talked about his rebounding, talked about his assists, but also Craig Smith raved about his defense. He's usually matched up on the other team's best player, one of their best defenders for the Aggies.
He's 7 points away from becoming the 4th all-time leading scorer in Mountain West history. We'll keep a close eye on that. And there's a Wyoming turnover. The Cowboys cannot afford to cough it up here. As you look at Craig Smith, what a job he's done. 200 career wins as head coach, energy, passion, back-to-back 20-win seasons. Last year's Mountain West Coach of the Year.
Well, let me tell you, he was at the University of South Dakota when I was playing there, and the entire city of Vermillion was heartbroken when he left, but they knew. A coach like that is so good and so successful just doesn't stick around, so everyone was so happy for him, and he's continued that success here at Utah State.
Good ball movement. Keita the pass. He'll get the assist. Bean the bucket, and a chance for the three-point play. And if first impressions are anything in terms of coaches, Craig Smith delivers a lot of good ones, and he's got some good players to work with.
Well, and you see just the energy and the speed that his team plays with, moving the ball all around, finding the open player. We saw that in shoot-around today, Trey. I mean, Craig Smith was running around getting the players fired up, but they just play with an energy and a passion. They play so hard for Coach Smith, and you see it out here today.
Bean and Porter with 5 points apiece. A good start here for the Aggies, up 7. Hendricks, who's trying to find his shot from distance. He was fantastic last year, 40. Maldonado inside, Banks, and feeds Taylor, can't convert on it. So undersized at 6'6", it's a chore going up against Keita down there.
That's going to be counted as another block for Keita. He does such a great job of blocking without fouling, and you'd think 7 feet tall, that shouldn't be that hard, but he's so athletic as well.
Aggies turn it over on the other end.
Look at this shot fake right there by TJ Taylor, but hey, there's Keita ready to block that shot, the secondary defender.
Last year's Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year, Mountain West Freshman of the Year. This year rounding back into form after a sprained left knee. He missed 12 games. They feel like he should be around 100% by March. Greg Milton now on the floor for Wyoming. Shot clock is under 10. Maldonado, step back jumper, tough shot. Boy, he is a full package. And remember, just a sophomore out of Colorado Springs. Full package and tough shot right there over Sam Merrill. Like we said, those two are known for their scoring. It's fun to see that one-on-one matchup tonight, too. Sean Bairstow on the floor, the Australian now for the Aggies, and they turn it over again. Greg Smith had great things to say about Sean Bairstow. He said the sky is the limit for him. He just keeps improving. He thinks he can eventually play point guard, and he's made some big-time winning plays on the defensive end lately in their past few games. Right now guarding the ball. As they get into the hands of Greg Milton, who's their backup point guard, sophomore. There's Maldonado. Brito guarding him, takes it inside with the left hand. What a play from Hunter Maldonado. And how about and assists? You don't see that too often. You don't. And so even if he's not scoring it, which he needs to be out on the floor because he impacts the game in so many ways. Keita, big size advantage. They cut him off on the baseline. Bairstow went high in the air to get that one. It's deflected. It will stay with Utah State. But check out Maldonado. Look at this crossover. Boom! Nearly an ankle breaker. Takes it in and then fires it up quickly with the left hand because he saw the defense coming. 12-9. Keita setting the high screen for Merrill, who takes a tumble and travels. Another turnover, 3 turnovers for Keita. Now Merrill turns it over, and that's very uncharacteristic for this Aggies team. They only cough it up 12 times a game. Yeah, Merrill kind of looking at the ref like, hey, how is that a travel? It was just kind of an unfortunate situation. Fell on the ball and then rolled. Refs are looking to call that every time. How about Craig Smith going deep into his bench here early in the first 7 minutes? Brings in Kuba Karwowski, a junior from Poland. Gives him some good offensive numbers from that spot. And there's a turnover for Wyoming. Bairstow the other way. Good play there by Marble. Bairstow gets it back. Feeds Bean for the bucket. A beautiful assist on Bairstow right there. And just a freshman, nearly throws the ball away, mishandles it, but still keeps his composure. Makes a good pass. Marble to the glass. They think this guy is rising. 7 straight games now in double figures. He's been an impact guy out of East High School in Denver, Colorado. Yeah, kind of their sidekick scorer as of late to really complement Maldonado. Almost 8 minutes in here. Wyoming has competed well here in the early stages. Big underdog here in Logan. Brito to Bean. No harm, no foul. The fans here in the student section behind us didn't appreciate that call. Hendricks driving on Merrill. Milton from 15, in and out. And Karwowski the rebound. Wyoming's been getting some good shots, just haven't been able to knock them down. 5 of 12 now from the field. Karwowski, that big 7-foot frame. Double teamed. Merrill from the wing. 68 threes. He has 298 in his career, behind only Justinian Jessup in Mountain West history. Created by great passing by Utah State. They don't play stick basketball. They're always moving it. Hendricks thought about it, but Merrill was right on him. Marble cut off. Milton drains a 3. Well, Allen Edwards has to be pleased with the way his ball is moving offensively. Well, he told us that was going to be a key in the games that they have been in. They've had some games where they've been ahead, some close losses. Talk about up 19 against Colorado State, losing to Nevada by 1. That's when they move the basketball well and not the 3 there. That's not his game. He's just 7 of 22 from beyond the arc. How about the transition bucket for Quan Marble and a timeout? Wyoming on the road, staying right with one of the top teams in the West, the Utah State Aggies. 3-point game. Break time here in Logan. Freshman Quan Marble has 7 points, and the Cowboys are within 1 here on the road at Utah State. Big underdogs, but they gleaned some things off their last loss. Despite losing that 19-point lead to Colorado State, played very well against an excellent Rams team you and I have both seen. Lost 77-70. They forced 17 turnovers. Allen Edwards has already done that here in the early stages, and offensively there's a good rhythm right now with this team.
Well, defense leading to offense for Wyoming. They've turned Utah State over 5 times already, turning that into 9 of their 16 points so far. That's been huge.
Down here in Wyoming. We're going to get Brandon Porter, who's checked in, the 6'8 sophomore. He is playing the post spot at 6'8, just 190 pounds. They're really limited in the interior with their size. Miller missing on the 3. Rebound pulled down by Greg Milton.
But you look at Wyoming looking to go in transition because they can't play down low with the trees. They want to get breaks where they can find some mismatches. Marble
tried to force the issue there, turns it over. Try to go high-low here, and the Cada pass thrown away. He's committed 4 turnovers here in the first 10 minutes.
Well, 4 of Utah State's 6, and you mentioned earlier, Trey, they only cough it up 12 times a game. For a lot of them that, 24, nearly doubling their turnovers, but sure Craig Smith isn't happy about that.
You have to be impressed with how the Cowboys have not hung their heads despite being 1-13 in the Mountain West, with 6 wins this year. Playing hard here against Utah State, and there's a foul called as Porter attacks the rim. And they have been the aggressors here in the first 10 minutes.
Well, and sometimes teams like Wyoming are the most dangerous teams because they have no pressure on them. All the pressure's on Utah State. As we see Brandon Porter driving to the hoop right here. He doesn't care if Kate is in there. He's going in to score. But Wyoming, I've been so impressed with the energy they've played with so far. But Allen Edwards, even during shoot-around today, he said these guys come to work every day. They don't look at their record. Of course, yeah, they'd like get better. It's showing so far in this game.
Coach Edwards a little bit under the weather, but his team playing like they're very healthy. Off to a good start here. They have the lead. Just under 10 minutes to go, opening half. Abel Porter. Brito goes to Cada on the block, and he almost turns it over again. Anderson retrieves it, drives the lane, offensive foul. How about that Wyoming defense?
Well, Wyoming has just been buzzing around the floor, but I think what created that entire play was when Maldonado came over and doubled Cada. Now right there we see the end of the play, Wyoming drawing the charge. But it was all created by Wyoming just buzzing around on defense. They doubled Cada, he had to kick it out, nearly lost it. And all of a sudden they turned Utah State over again, 7 turnovers for the Aggies.
And Porter had his feet set there, no question, he was outside the arc. And here's a foul out high on Porter. This Utah State team, as we mentioned, coming in on a roll. Winners of 7 of 8, winners of 4 in a row. And as the nature of young kids sometimes, you know this team coming is 6 of 20. They've only won once in the Mountain West. Sometimes you can not bring your A game. Foster missing from the corner.
Sometimes young kids are so dangerous because they don't know any better. Of course, they don't want to lose, but at the same time, they know they have a lot of time left, so.
Cada on the block, makes his move, well, half hook is there. You get it, hit the ball right there, it's over.
Yeah, Brandon Porter obviously with the size disadvantage there, but that's when you can't let Cada catch it right there on the block. That's just a bunny for him.
Marble missing badly on the 3, rebound into the hands of Miller. That was Cada's first bucket on the other end. The Aggies will try to extend their lead now. They go to him again. Skip past Miller. In and out. Cada the rebound and follow.
And that 7-foot frame, it nearly looks like an over the back, but it's not. He just reaches over, not necessarily over the back of Wyoming.
And this has been a concern for the Cowboys all season, getting outboarded by almost 9 per game this year. Porter from the corner, back iron with that one. Cada has the loose ball, and then he's fouled. 7 foot 245, the sophomore from Portugal, affects the game on both ends.
Well, look at this. When he catches that low, that's nearly an automatic bucket from 3 feet out. But yeah, the offensive glass, Kate right there grabbing it, keeping the ball high and going up for the finish. I mentioned earlier, Wyoming gives up just under 10 offensive rebounds per game. So you really got to put a body on Kata and all of Utah State especially.
Alfonso Anderson will check out. Justin Bean is back in. Averages a double-double, the top offensive rebounder in the Mountain West. And there's a zone look here from Wyoming. Bean at the free throw line, out to Miller. That's his game, but he can't convert. 70% of his shots are from beyond the arc this season. Maldonado, offensive foul. Porter at position, it goes the other way.
Well, and you know Maldonado is going to be going downhill. Porter just reading him and getting in good position there. They're drawing the offensive foul. Utah State's up 21-18.
.53% shooting for Utah State, but Wyoming has forced 7 Aggies turnovers here in the first half. Every game down the stretch important for Utah State as we look at Joe Lunardi's latest bracketology, the ESPN expert. Georgetown right now is in a battle with Providence, up 3 in the first half, but you can scoreboard watch if you're not careful, but I'm sure Coach Smith has his team focused on the Mountain West and playing their best basketball at the right time.
Yeah, you try not to let the outside noise distract you, but at the same time, you know, everyone's kind of got that on the mind, the big dance. That's where every player wants to go. And of course, Utah State last year winning the conference tournament, getting that automatic bid. But this year, assuming San Diego State does what they're going to do, you want to vie for that at-large bid, and you want to do everything to show the committee that you deserve to have it.
Bean goes inside to Kata, who's fouled, according to our lead official here, David. Mountain West tournament.
Preseason favorite this year, and the injury to Mish Kata early on, that's huge.
Abel Porter from the corner, that's his second triple.
Abel Porter.
Porter, a senior, last year starter. Shot it very well from distance a year ago. Here's Foster on the move with the left hand. How about Kenny Foster, another freshman? The future's bright, and Alan Edwards, that's something he has pointed to. Not giving up on this year, obviously, but they have some good pieces coming back next year as young guys.
Beautiful spin move right there with the left-hand finish. He said these freshmen have just been making little strides. It doesn't matter if it's a small stride. They've been moving forward all year.
Kata doubled again. Into the corner for Porter. Somehow keeps that in bounds. And a foul called. It's going to go on Quan Marble.
Let's take a look at the move by the freshman right here. Dribbling to the right. Oh, Kata, just kidding. I'll go back left. Takes it in for the beautiful layup. That's just a great read of the defense and perfect move in that scenario.
Colorado Gatorade Player of the Year. Denver ERA averaged 27 points his senior campaign. Wyoming shooting 44%. And their defense has been solid. We mentioned the forced turnovers as Merrill cashes in. And what a positive attitude for Alan Edwards. It would be easy for him to hang his head. 8 wins a year before they were beset by injury. First 2 years in Laramie. 6-point game here. Hendricks for 3. Got it. That was set up by the penetration from Maldonado.
Maldonado, as we mentioned earlier, leads the team in just about everything, but 4 assists per game. Obviously, he's going to draw a lot of attention, but does a great job of finding his teammates.
And Hendricks, a local kid from nearby Smithfield, Utah, just 7 miles north of Logan. Skip past Miller. Good look at a 3. Not there. Beating the offensive rebound. That is his specialty. Number 1 in the Mountain West in that category.
Well, if you're going to box one person out for Utah State, box out Bean. He's going to crash the offensive glass every time. That's the reason he averages a double-double. You have to put a body on him.
Just a sophomore out of Moore, Oklahoma. Hendricks again, and in and out of that one. Hendricks at times can really carry this team. He's just been inconsistent this year. They enter into Keita. There's the double again. Who tries to reverse it. Not there. Foster the rebound.
Been impressed so far with how Wyoming has defended Keita. Just bringing that double on him, making him catch in pretty bad spots. And of course, when they make him catch in an easy spot, it's a guaranteed bucket.
Foster straightaway three. Rebound, Taylor. He'll reset. Good energy for the bunch from Laramie. Foster, the freshman, cut off by Porter. Shot clock under 10. Long three, Maldonado. No. Boy, that was from distance, wasn't it?
It was about 4 feet behind that three-point line, much farther than even the NBA three-point line, and it almost went him right off the back of the rim.
Fourth leading scorer in the Mountain West. His team has done a good job around him so far. Porter from the corner. Short with that one. Foster the rebound. Wyoming has to be very pleased as we near the 4-minute mark here.
They've played with great energy on both ends of the floor. Obviously, their defense turning Utah State over has been a huge part of their scoring. Been impressed so far by the Cowboys.
Miller on Maldonado. Foster thought about it, didn't get a good look. Cut off. Inside. The little half hook from TJ Taylor.
That is a tough finish. TJ Taylor stands at 6'6", but he's still going over a 7-foot Mish Keita right there. That's a good finish.
Aggies winning the battle of the boards 14-10, but Wyoming has competed there. They've been dominated in the past. There's a missed shot, air ball, and Bean cleans it up.
Well, the tough challenge for Wyoming right now is they're bringing a double on Keita every time. So you got to find Bean, though, and box out if Keita decides to go up with that shot.
Reverse is not there for Maldonado. Aggies breaking. Porter. Chance at the free throw line coming up. Jake Hendricks, a senior from Smithfield, Utah, at times can blister the nets from three. We'll talk about the Smithfield kid. A homecoming for Wyoming guard Jake Hendricks from nearby Smithfield. His family's still in the Cache Valley. Jake's father, Rand, and his grandfather, Noor, have owned a pawn shop here in Logan for 20 years. Some of the teammates visiting the shop, hot selling items, Packers jerseys worn by Favre and Rodgers, a lot of Michael Jordan gear. Jake expecting about 60 friends and family for tonight's game, so this game means a little bit more to him.
Exactly, Packers jerseys, I might have to head over there, but I love the name of the pawn shop, Fast Cash. Could that be more fitting in a place like this?
Well, he looked good knocking down that triple. They have hit three threes so far, 3 out of 10 from distance. But it's been the energy, the defense, forcing turnovers. They've competed here against a really good Utah State team.
And there's also that little extra energy you get when you get to come home and play, even if you're the opponent, play in front of a lot of the people that watched you grow up and watched you really develop in your game.
Your top perimeter threat. Last year, he hit 67 threes. He's now equaled that mark with that three here in the first half. 7-point game. Here he is, on cue, off the mark from distance this time.
Getting some pretty good looks. He has been in a little bit of a funk lately, but hey, in front of his hometown crowd, you never know what could happen.
Nearing the 3-minute mark, here's Alfonso Anderson. Backing down Taylor, and he beats him with the left hook right there, the junior from Tacoma.
Craig Smith had great things to say about Alfonso Anderson. He said it was really good early on, then everyone figured out who he was, and he was on the scouting report, so they started to guard him harder.
It's like what he's seen from his bench. They have their rotation with Brito, the first guy coming off the bench, is a 6th man, but the young guys have played better. There's Maldonado with 5 on the shot clock. Banks' little floater, not there, being the rebound.
I think Banks kind of misjudged where he was right there. Going up for a jump shot, ended up letting the floater go.
Porter step back jumper. Bank won't go. 9-point game as we near the 2-minute mark. Maldonado. Maldonado for 3, misses, and they're starting to struggle from the outside now. 3 of 12 after a good start early.
Well, they want to shoot a lot of threes, and they have made a few at key points. But at the same time, when you have Keita out of the game, maybe try and go inside a little bit. Even though they still are undersized, you got to take advantage of those opportunities when you can, or at least get a paint touch.
Bean against Maldonado. Merrill. Step back jumper. Boy, he is so tough. That mid-range game, he's almost automatic.
There's a reason he has over 2,000 points, and it's because he hits shots like that. Off balance, fade away, knocks it down.
Wyoming's going to call a timeout now, trailing by double digits for the first time with 1:31 to go. Sam Merrill, 100% healthy. That's a key. He really has transformed himself, has gotten better every year. 9 points as a freshman, third-team All-Mountain West as a sophomore, 16 points per game. Last year, Mountain West Player of the Year. It's tough to top that from year to year, but he's gotten better, and he's the focal point of this offense.
Well, and just a guy that doesn't really make mistakes. Even talking to Craig Smith earlier today, he said he'll turn it over in practice, and it's like, what are you doing out there? Because you're just not used to seeing that happen, or he'll miss shot, but that just says what kind of player that Sam Merrill is, because he just can bring so much to the game.
And you see the update here. His next basket will put him into sole possession of 4th place in Mountain West history, passing a tremendous player, Justin James, from the University of Wyoming. And an offensive foul called on T.J. Taylor, trying to set the high screen right there.
Yeah, Wyoming's been pretty physical on their screens they've set so far. Obviously, Utah State's been battling to get over them, but you just can't take that little extra step or extra nudge out. The refs are looking to call that, especially when you're at the top of the key.
Taylor's first 3 count here in the first half. Merrill. Oh, great shot coming off that screen. Straight away, and he is now 4th all-time in Mountain West history in scoring.
Just makes it look easy out there.
Maldonado cannot answer a foul call. Hunter did not waste much time getting down the floor. Bean will pick up the personal, his second.
You can tell that was definitely a focus, but let's take a look at Merrill's basket. Comes off the stagger screen and just 1-2 square up, knocks down the shot. That's nearly automatic for him.
Oh, and there's an air ball for Maldonado.
And the fans are all over him for that. Not something you see too often from him. I mean, not too often from any player in college basketball. He shoots just about 73% from the foul stripe.
Oh, and he missed them both. That's a big surprise. He's actually 3rd in the Mountain West in free throws made this season. Comes up empty on that trip. Aggies have their biggest lead. Merrill. Anderson. Good pump fake and the finish. And a chance for the 3-point play.
That was just some big boy basketball right there. Alfonso Anderson was being double teamed after Merrill found him, and he just moved the Wyoming bodies out of the way.
This is a big team. I mean, this kid, as you mentioned, 6'6", 220, he's a load down there. They have a 7'2" center, a 7-foot center coming off the bench, and then Keita, of course, is 7 feet. They're as big as any team in America. And Hendricks is fouled. Was harassed on his move to the bucket. Merrill's going to pick it up.
Hendricks, obviously, with his outside shooting, you have to close out long. Does a great job of pump faking right there and taking Merrill to the hoop.
14-0 run in the last 3 minutes, 10 seconds for Utah State to break this game open. And up to the last 3 minutes, Wyoming had played very well. It's kind of reminiscent of late second half in their loss to Colorado State. That blitz got them. And this run by Utah State has put them in a tough spot here.
Yeah, you love the energy that Wyoming came out with, but a team like Utah State, they are just so good. They don't get phased if they're a team like Wyoming is playing right with them. They don't get phased. They just stick to their game plan, and they're up 42-27.
3-second difference, game clock and shot clock here. Porter at the controls. Anderson to Brito. And an offensive foul. Moving screen set there by Anderson, and it will give Wyoming the chance for the final shot of the first half.
Well, same thing that we just saw on the other end with Wyoming, is you want to set a great screen for your teammate, but if you even just edge a leg out or a shoulder and elbow a little bit, the refs are looking to call that.
So 12 seconds to work with. Let's see what Allen Edwards can draw up here to try to give him a little momentum heading into halftime. Maldonado brings it up. Attacks. Porter. Enable Porter the rebound. He'll heat from half court. Oh, it almost goes. And we've reached halftime. What a finish to the first half for Utah State. Wyoming, no field goals in the last 4 minutes.
Like I said, Wyoming came out with great energy, but Utah State is just a seasoned team that they're not fazed by anything. They settled in, they adjusted to what Wyoming was doing, and now we see the true Aggies coming through.
The Aggies are 17-4 with the lead at halftime, and they've got a comfortable 15-point advantage here at doing the job, and despite Maldonado's heroics, it's all Utah State here in Logan. Halftime coming up. Halftime in Logan, Utah State a strong finish to the first half as the acrobatics continue here at the Spectrum. 14-0 run at one juncture, and the Cowboys go scoreless for the last 4 minutes of the first half. Wyoming had played very well prior to that last media timeout.
They had. Like I said, they came out with great energy, but looking at these first half stats, Utah State nearly doubled them in just about every category. I mean, almost in their field goal percentage. 21-11 on the boards, 24-12 points in the paint, 10-5 on assists, and 6-3 on second chance points. But you see Utah State, they settled into this game. Yeah, right away, it was like, all right, Wyoming's coming to play, but they settled in, they played their game, and they just finished strong. A 12-2 run to end that half, and then, as you mentioned, on the defensive end, held Wyoming scoreless for the last 4:09 of that first half. One negative for Craig Smith, 8 turnovers, but they cleared that up after a rocky start, and they have a comfortable lead at the halftime mark here. 42-27. We'll take a look at the first half highlights when we come back as the Aggies try to win number 22 on the season. The Aggies led by as many as 17 in the first half. They take a 15-point lead into the locker room here in Logan, Utah. Well, they say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. What a flurry in the final 4 minutes for this Aggies bunch. They settled in, and they did it on both ends of the floor. As we mentioned, held Wyoming scoreless for the last 4:09 of that first half, and then also went on a 12-2 run to close the half. But they got a little production from everyone. They were just buzzing to close out the half.
The best inside-outside duo in the Mountain West. How about Keita and Merrill?
Well, to me, it's Keita, just 4 points in this first half, but that's fine when you do things like this. Has a block right there. He only got credited on the stat sheet for 1 block, but I think this is number 2 right there. Nevertheless, does a little bit of everything. As I mentioned, 4 points, but that's okay when you have 9 rebounds. He's just such a huge presence down below the 7-foot frame for Utah State. And then Sam Merrill, talk about the inside-outside presence. Sam Merrill gets things going off the bat with the steal and the finish. He's 4 or 5 so far for 12 points in this first half, but like we mentioned, can knock it down from everywhere. Jumper right here. There's a reason that he's now 4th in the Mountain West in career scoring.
This is a team that can really shoot the basketball at 45%, but obviously we expect them to win points in the paint. Defensively, that's where their bread is buttered as well. You better be able to defend if you're going to play for Craig Smith.
Exactly, and Craig Smith prides himself on the defensive end. You look at his teams and they have these prolific scorers like Sam Merrill, but at the same time, you watch him in any type of practice and he is stressing that defensive end. He's a man-to-man guy, but you need to lock down and play hard on defense. It shows with all the teams he coaches.
Every game important in the Mountain West. Down the stretch run here, Utah State trying to make it to the If the Mountain West tournament started today, this is what it would look like. Obviously, you don't want to be on the same side of the bracket as the Aztecs.
Exactly, but can we talk about how awesome March Madness is, and if the tournament started today? But at the same time, a lot of these numbers can shift. Right now, you look, and you have 3 teams, Colorado State, Boise State, and UNLV, all at 9 and 6. They're kind of vying for that 4 through 6 seed. Boise State and UNLV have to play again the last game of the season for Boise State. So yeah, a lot of things can shake out differently, but if it started today, still be some pretty exciting matchups. I'm even looking at Colorado State and Wyoming. Let's remember that Wyoming was up 19 on that CSU team, and then winner of that gets to play Nevada, another team that Wyoming challenged.
Top 5 get buys. We'll see how it plays out. A lot of basketball left in the Mountain West Conference season. Halftime here in Logan. Aggies trying to win their 8th out of their last 9, up 15 at the break. Utah State's only home loss this season to San Diego State, 13-1 at the Spectrum this season, and a 15-point advantage over Wyoming here. Craig Smith's team playing their best basketball at the right time. 2 losses to San Diego State, 21-7 this year, trying to win their 5th in a row, and they've got a pretty favorable schedule down the stretch here. All eyes will be on that Mountain West tournament in Las Vegas. This is a team that hopes to be in the postseason right now. Joe Lunardi has them as one of the last 4 in the NCAA.
At this point, just control what you can control. And you look at some of their losses. Craig Smith said they just had a bad 7-day stretch. They couldn't even practice because everyone was hurt. They had a bad 3 minutes at Boise State, and they end up with an overtime loss there. But hey, this team is looking great. They look like a postseason team.
Maldonado amongst the trees, feeding Taylor. In the corner, Hendricks, short, barely drew the net with that one, an air ball, and he'll hear it from the fans here. Merrill, attacking. How about him fending off that defender before he took it to the rim?
He's just one of those players, well, he just reads the defense so well, just that on-ball action. If you shift one way, he's going the other way.
14 for the senior. Taylor with the left hand.
Wyoming needed that. They were 3 of their last 14 field goals to close out that first half.
Aggies now shooting 57% from the field. Merrill into the corner. Porter thought about it. Floater is short. Cada tracks it down in the corner. Here's Merrill.
Make that 10 rebounds for Cada, 16 points for Merrill.
It's a wild shot put up there by Marble, throws up the air ball. Miller ahead to Bean. Aggies trying to break this one wide open. Merrill for 3. Buries it. 19 for Merrill. 7 of 8 from the field.
Well, right there, he just walked up to that 3-point line. No one on Wyoming knew where Sam Merrill was. Huge mistake by the Cowboys.
Hendricks is cut off. And then a foul called on Porter, says David Hall. 20-point lead, though, the biggest of the game for Utah State.
You can just tell this team rolls with their momentum. They can just score in bunches.
Merrill has now scored in double figures in 28 of their 29 games. Model of consistency. And it's within the flow of the offense. He's not forcing stuff up there. And I thought what Coach told us in Utah, scoring. It's the other things he can bring to the table, makes everybody around him better. Tough shot, Maldonado. That's an air ball. That's the second of the game.
And just so you know, if you airball it here, you are going to hear about it from these Utah State fans. What an environment to play in.
The herd, they call them, that Utah State's student section. Cada couldn't get that to go. Got 2 guys that throw up air balls, so we'll hear a lot of that. In the corner, it's Taylor, and he knocks down the 3. Now, that's not his game. That's just his 5th 3 of the season. They're looking for any kind of production on offense.
Wyoming will take anything at this point. They started out, and then their last 12 shots from downtown, they've only made 2.
Going the other way here, foul on Porter on the drive. Abel, one of their veterans, the senior.
He goes to the hoop hard, just lost the ball right there as Hendricks gets a little tip on it and then ends up knocking over Wyoming player.
Porter picking up his 3rd, and he goes to the bench here. Brito checks in. Hendricks leans into the 3. Bean has 8 boards now. Here's Brito. There's a offensive foul. Going the other way, no basket. Craig Smith doesn't like that call. It's going on Merrill.
Well, something that Merrill is so good at, we've talked about, is finding his teammates. He drives in hard to the hoop, but when he dishes it off, right there is TJ Taylor ready to take that charge. I'd say that's a good defensive play by TJ Taylor.
Takes a couple charges here in the second half. Number 11. Banks, seniors from Las Vegas, over to Maldonado. Against Bean, blocked by Keita.
Well, that'll go down as a volleyball kill right there. Keita just forcing the issue with a vengeance, and the fans love that.
Dig, set, and spike. Bean helped out to set that up. 1 on the clock. Hendricks, does he get the shot off? He does not. Shot clock violation.
Aggie basketball.
Well, they've really ramped it up, and the attention to detail is here to start the second half.
Well, and you can just see each player on Utah State brings a different aspect to the game. You have Merrill, who's knocking it down, firing up the crowd, firing up his teammates in that way. Then you have Bean, who's like going after the offensive glass, getting those energy pills for his team. And then you have Keita, who just is such a presence on the defensive end that just fires everyone up. It's just fun to watch.
And we talked about Merrill and Keita not being healthy all season long as that 3 doesn't fall. Bean also missed the first 7 games, or actually had a broken nose in October, had to wear a mask the first 7 games. He hasn't been totally healthy. Here comes Merrill the other way. Bounces off. Tempo's picked up here. Hendricks does not challenge the big man. Merrill the steal. Merrill the finish.
The basket is good.
19 points.
Look at Sam Merrill just going up strong. If this wasn't a foul, it'd for sure be goaltending. Great finish by Merrill, and his Aggies are up 51-32.
Milton for 3.
Milton sparking the Cowboys lately. Got it done off the drive earlier and then knocks it down from deep range. They're not going away. They're still playing hard.
He had offers from Fresno State and Tulane out of high school. Spent a year at Sacramento City College. The Aggies have turned it over 14 times in this one. Let's credit that Wyoming activity on this end. 5 on the shot clock. Bean, fall away, tough shot there, and the rebound for Greg Milton.
Great defense without fouling by Maldonado down there.
Hendricks from the corner.
Hendricks 1 of 7 so far from deep range. He's gotten some good looks, just hasn't been able to knock him down.
Keita to Bairstow, thought about trying the triple. They reversed the ball though, and Keita's back. And that's his second. Still a 15-point lead for Utah State. They led by 15 at the break. In control. Utah State continuing their trend of playing solid basketball. You got to go all the way back to a loss at Boise State where they let a lead get away, losing in overtime to the Broncos. For Craig Smith to say that was the last time we did not play well. They lost at San Diego State, which everybody has done this year. But what's significant is they did not have Keita at full strength when they lost 4 of 5, including that Boise State loss. Now they're back rounding into form, and this kid is looking like the Keita everybody thought he would be at the start of the year. And
we talked about it with Craig Smith. It's like, yeah, when you get Keita back, it's not like a team can just flip a switch and boom, he's back to what he was and what he meant to this team last year. They had to adjust to his knee and just trusting his body out there, but the team getting used to playing with him again. It's not as easy as it looks. Again, you can't flip a switch, but they have definitely figured it out.
Is just having him on the floor from a defensive standpoint. You can see how he's altered Wyoming shots in this one. 15-point game here. Here's Maldonado attacking, and he's fouled by Keita. Keita picking up his first, and the 14th foul on the Aggies.
Utah State has done a great job on Hunter Maldonado. Just 2 of 10 so far in this game, but great job by Maldonado to keep going, to not be satisfied with that, just kind of throw in the towel. Gets himself 2 for Wyoming. We talked about his scoring 17 points per game. The next closest after that is Jake Hendricks at 9.7 points per game, but he's struggling today. We've seen it. And then after that, it's Quan Marble. He's kind of been that sidekick scorer, but still, he's at 7 points a game. So, you know, Maldonado doesn't really have that secondary guy that can really pick up the load. He has to score. So valuable. Top 10 in 12 Mountain West categories. Here's Keita doubled on that baseline. The Cowboys have been consistent with that. Good double there. He steps through it, though. In and out. And the rebound pulled down by Milton. Great patience, great step through, just didn't finish it. Maldonado step back jumper. Bounces off. Keita the rebound. That is another one for him. Has 15 now in the game. Anderson. Brito. Short, and Foster tips it into the hands of Hendricks. Scoreless so far today. Utah State is 28-0 when he scores in double figures. They can win when he doesn't get there, but they know they're in really good shape when he does score the ball a little bit more. Milton guarded by Porter. Merrill coming over to help. Shot clock is at 8. Maldonado looking for some movement. Great read by Maldonado. Of course, everyone thinks he's going to take that last second shot, draws the defense, and beautiful dump down to Taylor. Taylor has 11 on 5 of 8 shooting in this one, and it's an 11-point game. And Merrill is knocked to the floor, and they'll whistle a foul here on the Cowboys. It's going to be Foster, the freshman. He has 3 as Hendricks checks out, and Marble will come in for Allen Edwards. Merrill missing on the 3. Keita has dominated the glass in this one. Season high 15 rebounds. It's an 11-point game here, though. Cowboys aren't going away. 3 is off the mark. Milton and Bean another rebound. And obviously Wyoming wants to shoot threes, and we've seen them shoot a lot of them, but you can see how if they're hitting some of those, just a few more, how this is a completely different game. How about that block by Foster? Rejecting Merrill near the rim. Marble. Oh, tough break there. Had an opportunity in the lane. That would have gotten it to single digits. Merrill on the attack is fouled. Maldonado picking up his 3rd. Wyoming was sick of getting blocked by Keita all the time, so hey, look at that. Playing some defense against Sam Merrill of all people. Kenny Foster, the freshman. Was that a two-handed block? That's old school right there. Oh, yeah.
Porter. Foster picking up Porter. 4 on the clock. Makes his move. Short tip by Bean. Bean now with 10 rebounds. He has another double-double, and that is 14 for the season. 13th in the NCAA in that category.
Being 7 of 11 from the floor, 16 points. Some of those have been bunnies just because he's hustled to the offensive glass. Here's Taylor inside. That bounces off. Cowboys have missed some shots at point-blank range within 5 feet. Take advantage of those, especially with Kata out of the game, not dealing with that 7-foot frame. You gotta make those bunnies.
And the shot clock under 10, very patient in the offensive set. Anderson for 3. Off the mark, rebound, Brito. Good pass, Bean is fouled. It's gonna go on Milton. Great recognition there off the double team.
Great recognition by Bean, but just look at how active he is away from the ball. We see him crashing the offensive glass, and it's like, why doesn't someone get a body on him? Well, it's hard when all of a sudden the shot goes up and he's so active moving around. It's like, where'd he go? Where'd he box him out? You just see how he's just such a tough guard, whether he has the ball or not, because he's always moving.
Miller will come in for Merrill. You know, Bean is only a sophomore, plays like a senior, though. His dad played at Idaho State, got him to the NCAAs in 1987. From a sports family as they extended the lead here. Under 8 minutes to go. Maldonado. And they're going to call the foul here. Burrito's going to pick it up with 7:54 to go. Utah State keeping Wyoming at arm's length. Still up double digits on the Bean counter's going. 18 points, 11 rebounds.
Mr. Bean, a double-double machine. Just makes it look easy out there, but like I mentioned, he's just so active, slicing to the hoop right there. His teammate Kata finds him. Here, Merrill finds him in the corner, and he can knock down the 3. Hard to believe he's just a sophomore when, like you said, Trey, he plays like a senior, crashing the offensive glass for the tip-in. He's 7 of 11 so far from the field. 11 rebounds, 4 of those on the offensive end. He's been fun to watch, and a perfect example for anyone who wants to look at how to get recruited, how to catch a coach's eye. Watch Justin Bean. He's always moving, always active.
Dramatic improvement from freshman to sophomore year. He was 4 points, 4 boards as a frosh, and now averaging a double-double. A versatile guy. Can help him in a lot of different ways. And what a compliment with Kata up front. The lead is 13 now with under 8 minutes to go. Cowboys trying to stay close within shouting distance here in the final moments of this one. Here's Anderson, and he's fouled as
well, you can see how Wyoming has been so close in some of these games against top half teams. I mean, of course, they were down 42-27 at half, but up to that last time out, it's been even 16 to 16 points between the Cowboys and Aggies in this second half. So they can definitely stay with teams. They can play right with teams. They just can't afford to dig a hole like they've been doing in a lot of games. Well,
it's a great point. I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda. You lose in overtime to UNLV. You lose a 1-point game at Nevada. And then you had that big 19-point lead against Colorado State. I mean, Alan Edwards knows they have a young team. Part of the reason they've lost these games and these leads in key situations, but they're capable, especially if they get Hunter Thompson back from that mononucleosis, they become a much more difficult team to deal with. Porter's 3 is on the money from the right wing.
You look at when Wyoming is getting some good looks and good baskets, they're moving the ball so well. And when they struggle, someone will hold on to the ball for about 5 seconds, wait for things to happen. But when they keep moving it, they get those good shots.
Milton, another rebound. He's been active on the glass. Maldonado thought about it. Foster's going to drive it. The scoop and the buckets and one opportunity. Kenny Foster coming off a career-high 12 against Boise State. A game that prior to the Colorado State game.
I think Foster's practiced this spin move. We saw him in the first half with another beautiful spin move and finishing with the hoop and the harm in this one. Impressive for the freshman from Aurora, Colorado.
He had 10 at Colorado State earlier this year. And a chance to get to single digits now with 6:52 to go. Can't convert. Cada and Merrill, two of the stars, back on the floor for Craig Smith. Four-game winning streak on the line for Utah State. Merrill attacking, and one.
Checks in, gets a bucket. Sam Merrill, you just see why he's such a prolific scorer. Drives in, uses his body. Check this out, gets the handoff, comes in, but look at this ability to finish with contact because he can finish outside of his frame. He'll shield you off with that left shoulder, that left arm, and then almost like a hook shot to finish the layup.
24 for Merrill. They push it back to a 13-point advantage, and then Wyoming turns it over.
You saw where Maldonado was trying to go there, just was a little off balance and had to make that pass before he traveled.
11 turnovers now for the Cowboys as we near the 6-minute mark. Bean, 20 points for the sophomore.
When you look at Maldonado, who's been guarding Bean a lot, and he's so keyed on Cada because he's going to be the double guy that comes over, but Bean saw that and just sneaks around where Maldonado couldn't see him, and his teammates find him.
Hendricks for three. They needed that. The senior knocks it down. He's kind of the wild card for this team. Has hit 66 threes, but only at 31%, 41% the year before. He could change the game. They get him going along with Maldonado and get Thompson back. Maybe they're a tougher out in the Mountain West tournament. Inside Cada, that's stripped. Out of bounds, it will stay with Utah State.
Wyoming not backing down by any means. They're buzzing around on the floor on both ends. Definitely challenging Utah State. As I mentioned earlier, after going into that last timeout, it was an even second half.
Aggies trying to win their 8th game in 9 tries, their 5th in a row, and get to 22 wins, but more importantly, 11-5 in the Mountain West. Here's Bean. Cada got a hand on it. The trailer. Porter can't convert. He'll take that 10 times out of 10. That's a good look there. The double on Cada. Quick out of it. Here's Bean. Brito lost the handle. And they turn it over again. That's been a sticking point, probably will be for Coach Smith. You got to point to some negatives. Turnovers have been that for this team. 15 in this one.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, they average about 12 turnovers per game, which is a very good number. Wyoming's making things hard on them.
That's a season high 15 turnovers for Utah State. Still up 12 though. Shows you how good this team is. They're shooting the basketball well at 47%. Plus 15 on the glass in this one. Merrill, the handoff from Cada. The big man's going to square up and knock it down.
Here's Cada for 2.
He has 6 to go with 15 rebounds.
Taylor was looking to help on Merrill. Cada just steps out and says, hey, if you're not going to come out, I'll knock this down.
Bean's going to track that one down. Trailer, Cada. Brito.
Unselfish play by Utah State right there. Any three of those guys could have gone up with the shot, but they got the best shot, which was a look to Brito.
15 assists now for Utah State. And there's a turnover off the knee of Brandon Porter. Aggies have been in control most of the way. Still up by double figures. 3:24 to go in Logan, Utah. Utah State trying to stay in second place in the Mountain West Conference. A comfortable lead here. Essentially, Kelly, 6 teams battling for the top 5 spots. Top 5, you get a bye in the Mountain West tournament.
It's going to get interesting down the stretch, and we touched on it a little bit earlier. Some unique games coming up. Nevada at Wyoming. Now, you wouldn't think that would be any trouble for Nevada, but that was a 1-point game last time those two got together. Boise State at UNLV on February 26th. That one definitely has something playing into it. And then San Diego State at Nevada. Now, you might think, oh, the Aztecs are untouchable. Well, Nevada was the only team to be leading the Aztecs at half so far this season when they met earlier. They ended up losing 55-68, but still, never know what could happen down the stretch.
Full court pressure here from the Cowboys, trying to mix it up with Merrill in the backcourt. Ahead to Bean, they break it well with Miller, and he attacks, and it's blocked. That was Maldonado coming over.
Looked like a lot of contact there, but at the same time, it was a clean block by Maldonado.
Three minutes to go. Comfortable lead for Utah State. Wyoming looking for a late charge here. Shot clock is under 10. Taylor against Keita. Being another rebound.
Keita just alters shots. You can make any kind of move on him, but at the end, when you go up with that shot and you have to go over that 7-foot frame with his arms extended, it just changes people's shots.
Aggies well on their way to victory number 22. Touching on that Mountain West tournament a little bit more. You think Craig Smith would take it right now, if he gave it to him, a crack at an undefeated San Diego State team in the Mountain West Championship?
Oh, absolutely.
All the pressure maybe on the Aztecs there would be a good situation to be in. Shot won't go for Milton. It's going to be fun to follow the Aztecs if they can stay unbeaten. Still some hurdles to clear, and this Utah State team, a 80-68 loss at San Diego State, and a loss here by 9 points to the Aztecs. They showed some flashes, some moments there. Played pretty well against a really sound defensive team.
At the same time, those two meet in the championship. Cliche, but hard to beat a team 3 times.
Keita, what a move from the big man. He has 8.
Keita showing off his length. He took off it kind of like almost the...
Maldonado, good follow there from TJ Taylor. Taylor's played well, he has 13.
Utah State still up 16, and this is going to be Craig Smith's 50th win as head coach of Utah State, the fastest head coach to reach 50 wins in Aggie history.
There's been some good ones here. Back-to-back 20-win seasons for the first time since the 11-12, 12-13 seasons at Utah State. You talked about his success at South Dakota, NIT and CBI trips, and hoping the NCAA is in the cards this year.
And when he took South Dakota to the NIT, you know, you look at when he's coaching a team like Utah State, it's like, oh, cool, NIT. That was the first postseason appearance for South Dakota in their Division I history. So it was a milestone that they hadn't seen before.
You're a proud Coyote.
I am. Could you tell?
And they love the job he's done here, trying to get to 22-7. Final minute. Maldonado loses the handle. Dean with the steal.
1 minute remaining.
14 turnovers for Wyoming. And the Aggies are going to put the finishing touches on this one and move to 14-1 here at the Spectrum. He likes his team. He did not shy away from telling us that. They're getting better and better, and they're healthy now.
Well, Craig Smith is one of the most honest people. He'll tell you he likes his team, he likes that from Burrito, top of the key 3, but he'll also tell you when he doesn't like things his team is doing. He's an honest guy, but that leads to why players trust him.
Burrito with 7 points. There's a miss from Porter, and a foul in the backcourt. So much talk about San Diego State, and sometimes It's not a bad thing to fly under the radar a little bit. When you win a Mountain West championship last year, maybe it'll be in the cards. If it's a one-game scenario, they get a third crack at San Diego State, and they still have a lot of work to do to get to that juncture.
They do. I mean, cliche, but you have to take it one game at a time, especially seeing how tight the Mountain West standings are, and Utah State trying to hold that #2 spot.
Number 5,
28 wins last year, is going to get to win number 22 here. And when the NCAA committee looks at this team, they need to look at this team when healthy, when Cata's 100%, when Merrill, because that stretch where they struggled with losses in 4 of 5, that's not the same Utah State team as this team right now.
Well, and even when Cata returned against Fresno State, he was still on a restricted minute limit. He could only play 10 minutes maximum. So you got to look at things like that. And with the reputation that Utah State has built with the postseason and winning conference championships, Sam Merrill getting a standing ovation from the crowd as he checks out. You hope the committee will look into Utah State more than just their record early on.
26 for Merrill. What a game for him, especially in the second half. Taylor knocks down the 3. Big game from TJ Taylor with 16. And the final 10 seconds here, Logan. The Aggies will run out the clock and pick up a 20-point victory here at home. Utah State 78-58. And they move to 11-5 in the Mountain West. They're in the hunt in a good spot for that #2 seed.
Well, they look like a team that was picked to win the Mountain West. They are playing some of their best basketball. 50th win as a Utah State head coach for Craig Smith. This team is fun to watch. Definitely need to pay attention to them down the stretch as we near March Madness.
Cata and Bean do the job on the boards. Merrill with 26. The guys they expected to lead them to a comfortable win over the Wyoming Cowboys by 20 points. I know you and I will be keeping a close eye on the first 4 in, the bracketology and everything when we take a look at this Aggies team down the stretch.
Absolutely. This is such a fun team to watch, and March Madness I feel like is going to bring out the best in them. As good as we're seeing them right now, I don't feel like they've reached their peak quite yet, which is scary for other teams, but very exciting for Craig Smith and Utah State.
Thanks to our entire crew here in Logan, Utah, and Kelly Stewart. I'm Trey Bender saying so long from Logan, Utah. 78-58. The Aggies roll to a win over the Wyoming Cowboys. Merrill leading the way with 26 points. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good night from Logan, Utah.